up, all my fight fans? So, Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Tank Davis recently just took place this Saturday, and Tank Davis gets a knockout win. I'm going to discuss the fight. I'm going to discuss what's happening next for Gervonta. I'm going to discuss what's going to happen next with Ryan Garcia. I'm going to break that all down for you guys right now. So, let's talk about the fight. First, actually, let's talk about the build up to the fight. Guys, come on. You know, we could talk all day about the fight. We could talk about it all, but you got to appreciate these guys. These guys put it on the line. These guys really sacrificed it all. They did not care about who's going to be undefeated. They did not care about who's going to win what or what whatsoever. They went out there and did it. They wanted to prove that they were the best, and they did it against the best. You got the prime. You got these both fighters in their prime at very young age, and they're ready to do it, and they did do it this Saturday, this past Saturday. You know, that's something we got to respect. We got to have all these fighters out there that are afraid to fight each other really take note. Come on, guys. You know, eventually someone's going to lose. Eventually your O is going to go. You know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't define you. You know, you're not defined by your wins. You're defined by your losses, and you have so very few of them if you actually do that. And the only reason why you lost, it wasn't because you were very bad that night. Maybe in some ways you were. But at the end of the day, it was because you went out there and proved that you were the best, and maybe it just wasn't your night. You know, that's basically what it was. So that's why I really appreciate everything these guys did for us and for the sport of boxing, Gervonta Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia. So let's get into the fight, guys. It was a relatively good fight. You know, it wasn't something that we were both, you know, I don't think any of us really anticipated it being a banger. Any of us anticipated it being like, you know, a back and forth war. In some ways it was, but it wasn't going to be where these guys were going to pretty much trade power shots and trade haymakers. After each other. They were going to be very technical. They were going to be very safe with their punches. Ryan Garcia looked a little bit more on the reckless side. He looked like he was throwing a lot and trying his best to land hard and try his best to really catch Gervonta. He seemed like he had his chin up just a little bit, like we kind of broken down, like we kind of seen. It seemed like that's something has always been his style. You know, we look at his style, look at his fighting. He never really, when he boxes, he never, you know, kneels his chin down or pretty much keeps his head down. He always is constantly keeping his head a little bit higher than it pretty much needs to be. That's just his style. That's what he was taught. That's what he was learning. You never know. But hey, maybe he will learn from this. But in the end of the day, it still was a good fight. You know, in the first round, it was very, very safe heavy. You know, I'm not. You could have given that round to anyone. More likely, you probably landed to Ryan because it looked like Ryan was just a little bit more active than Gervonta. But of course, Ryan Garcia was taking over that second round. Ryan Garcia was really being active. It looked like Gervonta Davis was really being. I'm not sure if it was part of his game plan or if it was maybe just the fact that he was just trying to, you know, frustrate Ryan, or he was just trying to really, you know, get under Ryan's skin, or maybe Ryan actually did hurt him and he was holding him for dear life. You know, maybe that could have been a possibility. We just do not know. But Ryan Garcia seemed like he was getting off. Looked like he was actually getting quite a few punches, good hooks, you know, some jabs and some decent power shots in there. You know, I feel like that was 100% his round up until he got hit and connected with Gervonta's power shot. It looked like it was a little bit of overhand. It looked like Ryan Garcia pretty much walked straight right into it and landed flush and pretty much put Ryan on his butt. Ryan Garcia got up no problem. He didn't look like he was that hurt at all. And then from that point on, Ryan looked very tentative. You know, Gervonta Davis looked like he was having his way a little bit. He looked like he was able to pick his shots and land them at will. With Ryan landing a few shots himself. You know, it wasn't a straight up killing one-sided fight. It really, really, truly wasn't. You know, Ryan Garcia was still actually in the fight. Ryan Garcia was landing a few shots himself. He was landing some jabs. He wasn't doing as much. You know, he definitely seemed a little bit more nervous. He definitely seemed a little bit more nervous going into the fight, and he definitely seemed nervous in the fight. Gervonta Davis looked like he was having a little bit of fun in there. He looked like he was very relaxed, but he was getting landed, and he was also landing himself. Up until I believe it was the 7th round where the fight finally stopped. Now, I am a little bit more on that side of like, I'm not too sure about that body shot. I really am not. You know, I've seen body shots before. I've seen the body shot that Bernard Hopkins put De La Hoya with. I've seen the body shot that Triple G put Matthew Macklin with. I've seen the body shot where Roy Jones put Virgil Hill with. You know, they're all great liver shots, and you see the difference. You see the difference in the fighter. The fighter literally is 100% just down. That liver shot connects you, and you are done. The shot looked like it barely landed. Now, I'm not taking anything away, saying like, oh, it was Anything like there's something suspicious about it. I feel like it did land it. I could see it landed. I could see Ryan pretty much did get connected with that shot, but it just didn't feel like it landed hard enough. Now I'm not in there. I'm not 100% not in there, but it really didn't feel like Ryan Garcia was in really deep trouble when he got hit. When he got hit, it may have took the wind out of him, but then he felt like he got up a little bit too soon after that 10 count. And that's just something where I'm at. It just didn't feel like Ryan Garcia really wanted to be in that fight. In that fight, I was listening to it after watching the fight. They were able to show what the cornermen were talking. And Ryan Garcia's cornerman had to tell Ryan Garcia, hey, move around the ring. This is your ring. Almost had to tell Ryan Garcia that, you're here. This is your fight. Even the walkout for Ryan Garcia, it just didn't feel it. I didn't feel that energy. I didn't feel that want and that need and that ready to go energy from Ryan Garcia when he went in that ring. Throughout the fight, throughout the promotion, I definitely felt it. But in that time, it almost felt like to me that maybe the pressure got to him just a little bit. And maybe the fight wasn't going his way the way he wanted it to go. And that is why he pretty much stayed down just a little bit. It almost felt like he was already beaten before he actually got in there. And that's just my personal opinion. Tank Davis did a great job. Tank Davis went in there, did his thing, and he was able to, get that stoppage. But it just, to me, it felt like it wasn't really a true, like, hey, I beat this guy. It really felt like he was already beaten prior to that, prior to the fight. And it almost felt like he had to be waking up to get in there. Because Ryan Garcia, regardless of what anybody says, again, I mentioned this before. This was not a was not completely like annihilation by Tank Davis. This was not annihilation by Ryan Garcia. They both were in the fight. Yeah, Tank Davis put Ryan Garcia down. I am definitely 100% on that second round. They actually had a 10-8 for Gervonta. I give it like a 10-9 because you got to give literally the only thing that Gervonta did was put him down on the ground. That was it. Ryan Garcia was actually in that round. He was actually doing majority of the round. He was on his way to winning that round 100% clearly, but he got dropped, which is okay. Of course, Gervonta Davis wins that round, but not by 2 points. That's just my personal opinion. No, it wasn't a 2-point round for Gervonta Davis. That's my 100% opinion. That second knockdown, it definitely was a knockdown. It definitely was a stoppage because Ryan Garcia just did not want to get up. He says he wanted to. He says he did, but I could see it in his eyes. I could see it in his face. It really wasn't there. It really, really wasn't there. There's nothing against Ryan Garcia. It just looked like the moment really got to him. The moment, that big old star power, the being on the spotlight, on the grandest stage of them all in Las Vegas, T-Mobile Arena. You got millions and millions of people watching you, thousands of people watching you in the audience, and it just felt like maybe it just was too much for him at that moment. Tank Davis has been on pay-per-view multiple times. Tank Davis has been in the main event multiple times. Tank Davis has been in big crowds multiple times, so he's kind of used to that. He's kind of used to it just a little bit, where Ryan Garcia, he's been in a few main events here and there, but Ryan Garcia has been relatively inactive for quite some time. I think his last fight was like for Tuna or something like that, and that was almost a year ago. He was supposed to take a Tuna fight here in January, but January this year, but he refused to do that and decided to, 100% make this fight happen with Gervonta. And it felt like he wanted it so bad, and maybe he wanted it for maybe the wrong reasons, because a lot of people were calling him an Instagram. That's all he is. He's not really a professional fighter. Ryan Garcia is a very good professional fighter. Ryan Garcia has a lot of skill, and he's going to be in the boxing world for a very long time. He has tremendous, tremendous skill. 100%, you cannot take that away from him. You cannot deny that whatsoever. But maybe it was just a little too much too soon for him. Little too much too soon for him. I think a lot of people also underestimated Gervonta Tank Davis, because we've seen his opponents, and a lot of his opponents that he was facing was from the lightweights to the super or the light welterweights. They're all like levels from top 10 to top 5. He really wasn't facing anybody within the 1 to 5. He wasn't facing anybody in the ranked division of the 1 to 5. He was facing all these other really good fighters, but not really great fighters. This is his first fighter that he's fought that was actually really relatively known. We all know Ryan Garcia, and we all know Ryan Garcia can box. But it just seemed like this moment really took a toll on Ryan Garcia, and it really, really got the better of him. So that's my personal opinion when it comes to that. Ryan Garcia did get dropped with that body shot, and it did hurt him just a little bit, but I feel like he could have really gotten up. I personally feel like, and I think a lot of people, as I was reading through social media, felt like he could have gotten up too. You can see the difference. You've seen the difference in other people's body shots before where they've got taken them and they could have gotten up. It didn't seem like Ryan Garcia was super badly hurt. Super badly hurt. Maybe he was afraid to get up because he might have been stopped. We do not know. We don't know 100% sure. This is just my personal opinion. I do personally feel like Ryan Garcia could have continued, but only he knows that. So at the end of the day, it's still a win for Gervonta Tank Davis. Still a win, and he definitely should be proud of it. He's still undefeated, the 135-pound champion right now. Not the 100% champion, because right now the 100% champion, the guy that's holding all the belts, the undisputed champion, I should say, is Devin Haney. And Devin Haney is taking on the former undisputed champion, Lomachenko. Vasily Lomachenko, May 20th. I cannot wait for that fight. That's going to be a very, very good fight. I could break that fight down late now, but I would rather wait. But I am very excited for that fight. I do feel like the winner of that fight is going to be facing Tank Davis. I hope and pray. I really hope and pray. So what's going to be next for Tank Davis? Well, I just said that. That leads on to the next segue. Devin Haney versus Lomachenko. He cannot fight backwards. He cannot fight backwards now. Now it's time to move forward. Now it's time to show us what you're made of. I don't want to see him facing anybody in the lightweight division or even the the light welterweight division that's levels under. Like you're looking at 5 through 10. No. I need to see you against champions. I need to see you against the ranked number 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5. 5 is the very, very least we're willing to go. We're not willing to see him face somebody in the top 10. Like, no. You are a champion now. You're undefeated now. You're a star now. We want to see pay-per-view actually worth buying. This fight with Ryan Garcia was $85. You put him in there against anybody else, you're not going to get $85 from anybody else. I'm sorry, you're not. You need a star in there. You need yourself a Devin Haney. You need yourself a Lomachenko. You need yourself a Shakur Stevenson. Possibly even going up. Rematch Ryan Garcia, 140. There's all kinds of different opportunities, but we do not want to see what Gervonta has been doing for quite some time. It's fighting backwards. He's done that. He's built up his skill. He's built up his technique. Let's see him fight stars. Let's see him fight big boxers. Let's see him face somebody in his rankings. Right now, Tank Davis is probably, I want to say 2 or 3, maybe around that level. Let's see him face the 4th or the 2nd or the number 1 or the number 5th. I want to see those fights. That's why I want to see Tank Davis fight. And I do believe that the winner of that fight, the winner of Devin Haney versus Lomachenko, should fight Tank Davis. 100%. 100%. That is 100% next. That's got to be next for Tank. Because I promise you, this is his legacy. Yeah, they asked him, are you the star of boxing right now? In some ways, he could be. Right now, he is. But I promise you, that star will dwindle as you continue to fight certain people that we just won. No disrespect to his opponents, relatively don't know, or we do know, but they're way past their prime. It's like you don't protect that zero. Go out there and take chances. Go out there and try to beat other people. Try to be the very best, because you're not going to be the very best, and you're not going to get the respect of the crowd and telling you you're the very best by fighting people that we pretty much know you're going to beat, or we pretty much know that there's no challenge there whatsoever, so there's no reason for us to even see you against these guys and pay our hard-working money to see you against these guys. So that's what I personally hope for Gervonta Tank Davis. What's next for him? Ryan Garcia, at the end of the day, excuses are excuses. I don't think there's any excuses. Yeah, there are talks about possible Mo in the camp. I think that's all play. I think they're just trying to get in Ryan Garcia's head. If they did, that's just foolish. It's just really foolish. It just, it's all kid games. And if they did do that, then that's really dirty for them to do. Like you're saying, like, hey, I can't beat you with my skill. I need to know what you're doing. I need to know what you have inside your camp, because I personally cannot beat you. That's what pretty much you are saying right then and there. But as far as that goes, there's also that 136-pound hydration clause they had. You know, Ryan Garcia knew what he was doing. Ryan Garcia knew what he wanted. Ryan Garcia knew, like, hey, you know what? I can do this. He felt he could do it. But at the end of the day, am I saying that's the reason why he probably lost? You never know. But it's still, you know, Ryan Garcia has relatively been a 140 pounder for quite some time now. He did it because he did the 136 because he wanted to prove that he was the best and took chances to get the best. And that's something you cannot deny, Ryan Garcia. You cannot deny him. Even if even if we felt like he could have gotten up, even if we did, he still decided to take that chance and go against Gervonta. He could have said no. He could have backed out of it like so many other fighters do. Like when things don't go their way, they're like, oh, I just don't want to fight you. Like, no, 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 no. He took the chance and he went in there and he lost. It is what it is. It happens. You know, the best in the world have lost. The best in the world have lost. Few people that are chose not to lose were the ones that refused to take chances, refused to put themselves on the line, refused to really, really show what their skills are against other opponents that might be just as good, if not better than they are. That's what Ryan Garcia did. He decided to go against an opponent that whose skills could he possibly match him, or he was actually better than Ryan. So that's what happens. That's how you prove you're the best. 100%. Ryan Garcia is still going to be in the boxing game, and he's still going to be in the boxing world, and he is still going to continue to show that he is one of the best boxers out there. 100%. But what's next for him? 140-pound division. Don't do this 136 division no more. Don't do that 135 division no more. It's just maybe the weight cut's too much for him. Maybe it's just, you know, he needs to be able to fight comfortably. That's what opponents needs to do. They need to stop this whole, you know, hydration clause or, you know, this catch weight clause. Like, no, 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 no. Either you fight at 140 or you fight at 135. You know, and that's what bothered me about this fight a little bit, because Tank Davis fought at 140 before. He fought somebody at 140. I forgot who it was. I think it was Barrios or somebody. I remember. And now all of a sudden he had a problem fighting Ryan Garcia at 140. Me personally, I would have said, why not 140? Why not? You know, you did fight at 140. Now it's a problem. Why is that? You know, why is that? And that's something that did bother me a little bit about the Gervonta fight. But at the end of the day, they both fighters agreed to it. And you know what? Gervonta won fair and square. But Ryan Garcia needs to fight at 140. Right now, there's a great fight going on, you know, with Teofimo Lopez in June 10th. He's going to be taking on the junior lightweight champion of the world, and possibly, Ryan Garcia could possibly get the winner of that. If not, possibly taking on somebody else within the division. Eventually getting some wins in there, building up his confidence, building up his skill, learning from this defeat, and actually possibly challenge Gervonta again. Like, hey, you know what? We did it your way. We did it at 135. You want to come up in 140? I'm right here. Let's do this. Let's make this happen. You know, and then again, you never know. Maybe Ryan Garcia could actually go up into the welterweight division and fight up there, because, you know, he's like around 5'10". He's probably getting a little older. He's probably packing on some more muscle mass and whatnot. And he's probably wants to fight at a little bit more comfortable weight instead of cutting all this weight that he's been doing for so very long. So hey, why not? Why not do that? At the end of the day, let's make that fight happen. I would definitely love to see that. Let's have this even playing field fight. Let's have this fight where, you know, fighters are both comfortable. It seems like Tank Davis, if he's able to fight at 140 before, why not do it again? You know, why not do it again? You know, that's my personal opinion on that. I would love to see that fight again, and I would love to see Ryan Garcia do it at a comfortable weight. So there is no, oh, well, he needs to be rehydrated. Oh, well, there's this clause. Oh, well, there's this stipulation. Screw the stipulations. I'm getting tired of the stipulations. You know, I'm getting tired of this A side, B side. You know, the only thing that should be stipulated is who's the bigger star right now. You know what? Hey, you're the bigger star. You have the more pay-per-view buys. You have the more bigger draw in attendance or whatsoever. You are the A side. You get 60%. I get 40%. You know what? That's the way it should be. The ring should always be the same. The gloves should always be the same. All this other little stupid little things that boxers do and whatnot, try to have their little advantages over their opponent. I'm getting so sick and tired of that. That really does bother me. That really does. It really should be an even playing field, because if you cannot beat that person, just say it. Just say, you know what? I need this certain glove to beat you. I need this certain ring to beat you. I need this certain stipulation to beat you. I need this catch weight to beat you. Because if we did it on an even playing field, you would beat me. That's literally, when I hear catch weights or when I hear stipulations, it's pretty much telling me that if I don't have those stipulations, then that opponent is going to beat me. That's it. And that's what I do not want to see in boxing no more. I want to see even playing field. I want to see 100% you at this weight, me at this weight. Boom. That's it. No other stipulations whatsoever needed. But you know what? At the end of the day, that's the boxing world. That's always been like that. It's always been like that since probably the beginning of time. You know, it is what it is. That's something we're all gonna have to get used to, guys. But there you have it, Gervonta Davis. Congratulations on that win. I am very much looking forward to seeing him fight again. You know, I definitely love his style. He is a very fun, exciting fighter, and I really do hope he does win. And really do hope that he does continue to his career path and let us see him fight the actual great lightweights out there that are out there still. Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, Lomachenko, possibly move up. Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez. There are so many big stars out there for Gervonta. I will really much look forward to seeing him fight these guys. Same thing with Ryan Garcia. I very much look forward to a possible matchup with a Teofimo Lopez, possibly with all these other guys that might move up in weight, and you could possibly see them there. I'm very much looking forward to see what is going to be happening next for his career. Very exciting guy. Very exciting stuff for boxing. Guys, all those boxers out there, please take note. Please look at this fight. You know, you guys should see it 100%. 140 pounds, Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia, both were undefeated, both put it on the line. That's something that everybody else should be doing right now. Everybody in the boxing world, put it on the line. Screw this whole undefeated stuff. Screw all that undefeated shit. Nobody needs it. We need to see fights. We need to see fighters fighting each other. We need to see people taking chances. That's what we need to see. That's how you say boxing. Guys, like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.